Hello and welcome to the Moon Babes Monday Night Live. I'm Sonia G. We're going to talk about all the cosmic things happening this week, what's happening in the cosmos, what's happening in the universe, all the astrological things, all the crazy, all the feelings, all the emotions. Yay! Hi, loves. Thank you for joining. Let me pin something here. Hang on. I'm going to have to, I'm going to say cosmic chat. I should probably start doing these before I come on, huh? Cosmic chat, lunar eclipse. How's everybody doing? How are you guys feeling? It's a lot of energy. It's really a lot. Oh, man. How's the meditations going, you guys? Because I know that if you're doing good, you're getting your meditation on. That is for sure. Okay. Tribe.com. We're going to talk all about all of this. Like, it feels like we are in a time warp right now because we're in the time between eclipses. And it's just been super intense with 6 planets retrograde and then the eclipse, and then this July is the busiest cosmic July in the history of ever. Well, at least since I can remember, right? Let's see, pin the comment. There we go. So, what is happening? We just had a solar eclipse. Well, the light is super bright. It's blinding me, but I can see you guys. Hi, loves. I'm happy to see you joining. Yay, this is the best retrogrades that I've experienced. That is good. I love that comment. That is a perfect way to start this off. So we do have lots of planets that are retrogrades. We had a solar eclipse, and now we're headed for a lunar eclipse, which is happening tomorrow, and it's happening in Capricorn. While the sun is in Cancer, and we have lots of things retrograding. We have Chiron retrograde, we have Mercury retrograde, we have Jupiter retrograde, we have, hold on, let me look at Astrogold. I actually literally, in order to keep this straight, I have my info. So we have Mercury retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Chiron retrograde. What does that mean? It means ultimately that all of this energy is causing us a lot of questioning. And it's been a busy July. We had a 13-year karmic cycle reset. So it's this huge clearing and cleansing. It's this massive clearing and shedding of old stuff. People, friends, belief systems. But this one has been really emotional because eclipses always make us do that work. It's the leveling up work, right? So no matter how it shows up in our world, meaning if it's coming to us through things that trigger us, or maybe it's through relationships or through finances or through places, homes, jobs, no matter how it shows up, there are things that are triggering us, and they're triggering wounds, they're triggering emotions, they're triggering things that are coming up, and you're oh, on the inside it's we're itchy that something has to change, right? And you just have to level up. It's this continuous oh my gosh, here we go again, let's level up, let's reach for some more, let's go for more, I can do this, I can stretch, I can get there. And that's just kind of the energy that we're in. So why is this happening? It's really a gift. We just sometimes feel a little, it's just, there's a little too much work to be done. If you see the smoke, I'm burning beautiful incense right now. I can see the smoke floating around with all of the stones. I definitely burn incense every day. Nang Champa is my favorite. And there's lots of different incenses that I've been feeling burning lately in this cycle of time. So we have the Mercury retrograde that's happening right now, starting at the top with all the things, is causing us to evaluate the way we think, okay? And it's a Mercury retrograde that's happening in Cancer, but it's also then it's shifting to go into Leo. And so it's going to go from how we communicate in our home and the things that are dear to our home to how we present ourselves outwards. So it's kind of like a Mercury retrograde that's like inwards and then outwards. And it's not a bad one. Like we were saying, it's challenging, but it's good. And I think a lot of us are feeling that. Mercury is my ruler. So it's like me and Mercury, you know, got to make friends all the time. And you really feel your energy turning inwards. Can you guys feel that? That your energy is like inwards. There's a lot that just wants to go in and spend time by yourself instead of going out and like doing things on the outside. And that's the healthy place to be. That's where you want to be. The latest retrograde is Chiron, and Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron represents the wounds that are like our, I want to say like the wounds of our soul, like the wounds that we came in here feeling like we need to shift. It's like almost the things that we have experienced, not just in this lifetime, but also things that we came in carrying and feeling, and they are like in our blood. This is like our ancestral trauma. This is like the lineage, the stuff that's like in our blood and in our bones, the things that we don't know why they are affecting us so much. And it's like this feeling like it's from beyond us, but it's like, oh my gosh, this is like deeper than me. And we have these like massive feelings about, you know, things that seem smaller. That's because it's like the trigger of our wounds, right? Specifically, Chiron in Aries right now, it's a really big deal because it's bringing up the self. So it's making us question our identity, right? And who did we really come to be on this planet? And who are we embracing that we are? How are we showing up as our true self? And, you know, who is that true self? Do we have permission to be that true self? So these are kind of the things that have been, you know, in the back of our minds. And the time between eclipses, so when we have a solar eclipse and then a lunar eclipse, and believe it or not, we had a total solar eclipse, not as powerful as this partial lunar eclipse, just because of all of the astrology around it. So we can feel it, and it's happening in the sign of Capricorn, and it's really just, eclipses take things away, okay? So there's a lot, it's just kind of like, let me just scoop this up. And sometimes it's not comfortable because it's like, I was not ready to let that go. But then it's like, okay, bye, you know, gotta go. And then we have to deal with the things that are coming up. And so one of the things that's really important is to be able to go with the flow and expect the unexpected. I think this is one of the things that we said in Moon Babe Society was this month, just be comfortable with the unexpected, because we just don't know what these eclipses are going to take out and drop into our life. And that's really kind of what happens with all of these reevaluations and, you know, all of these things that are happening. Eclipses affect us. Well, the full moon affects us emotionally, right? It represents our innermost being. And in Capricorn, it represents where we want to go. So there's a lot of things that are coming up that have to do with partnerships, with love, with where our feelings, like where we matter, where we find value, the direction where our soul wants to go. Capricorn is the achiever. It's like, where are we going with this energy? What is happening? And we are like looking for this direction to go. However, we have 6 planets retrograding that are supporting us in this inner journey. So a part of us wants to go inwards, and a part of us is like figuring out the plan ahead. And so it's a little bit, you know, like there's an energy to unravel. Chiron is messing with you. That's totally funny. Yes, you guys. Yep, Chiron influences that. Yeah. So, and I'll try and keep up with your guys' questions, but let me kind of give you this overview first. And, what else did I want to tell you? Oh, one thing that every so often I see very specific trends in my session. So I take one-on-one, sessions with clients that I call soul alignment sessions, because anything that needs to come up in any of my set of skills, because they vary from reading Akashic Records to star charts to Reiki to theta healing to all the things, right? So I call them soul alignment sessions because it's wherever your soul needs in order to come in alignment. Sometimes it's talking to your guides and angels. Sometimes, you know, it varies. So for the past week, I think maybe a little bit longer, but several session, ultimately like a huge amount of people are working with integrating their Akasha on a new level. Like I haven't seen it. And it's amazing. What is your Akasha? Your Akasha is your record of your soul that was deposited at the 12th chakra, for those of you that know where that is, okay? So where the Akashic Records are, which is the extension of where, and if you don't know where you are, basically, it's not that I want to leave you out of that conversation, it's your energy extends beyond the chakras that are in your body, and you go all the way to the chakras that are interpersonal, right? They're spiritual, and they're part of your higher being. And so at the 12th chakra, we have the Akashic Records, and this is where we deposited, when we came in through the portal of the sun, we deposited our records, kind of like the safety deposit box. And a lot of us now are integrating it. And it started happening, like the go-ahead happened where we could start integrating it at one point, but I haven't seen significantly, like person by person, really starting to integrate to the point that some people I've seen like completely downloaded it, which is like, whoa, amazing. Only a couple I've seen so far. But what does that mean? That means that we are, as a collective consciousness, we are eager to really understand our identity, who we are, to embody our soul. And so a lot of you are asking for this to happen, right? Because you have to ask. It doesn't just happen. This is not a passive thing. This is an active thing. And so when we want to embody our soul, when we want to bring in that light and feel good, because really ultimately, right, that's where we want to be. We want to be in alignment. And so we bring in light and we bring in the, our higher soul presence. And when we embody it, sometimes just know that it gets a little uncomfortable. But it's just so awesome to see. It's kind of like this, to me, the way that it looks, right, in the etheric world, it looks like there's, it's like these divine sparkles of light that are just merging in with our physical body. And they go and light up your what is it called? Nervous system, your lymphatic system, like it's like a Christmas tree, right? And you just like start to sparkle, and it's like it trickles in and it comes in, and it's just beautiful. And so we're integrating. It's like, for some people it's on drip, for some people it's like flooding in. So it just kind of depends. But it's beautiful, and it just means that as a society we're doing this work and we're integrating it. And then the next part is like really stepping into this purpose. And so this eclipse is going to help us with getting a clearer understanding. We're going to have a bigger urge after this eclipse, which is tomorrow, okay? And the energy of it is going to last until the black moon. This month we have a black moon, which is the second new moon of the month, which is happening on the 31st. And this astrology is completely just, this month is totally like shifting the vibe for all the months ahead. We're going to have a new moon at the end of the month. And that's why it's called, just like when we have two full moons in one month, it's called the blue moon. And, it's once in a blue moon thing. This is once in a black moon. So 2 new moons in 1 month is called a black moon. It's not a bad thing. It's just what it's called. So it's super powerful. So this energy will last until the 31st. And I think there's a lot of shifting in the meantime. And the day that we have so many resets. That's what I was saying. This July has been so busy. On the 26th of this month is also a new galactic year. So it's a new cycle all the way around the sun. And it's amazing how many, it's just reset after reset after reset after reset. And we're just like, holy cow, oh my gosh, upgrading, downloading, taking it in, up leveling, right? And this is the work. And so the more work that you're able to do, the more time that you spend figuring this part out, the easier the next 6 months will be. The astrology that we're seeing right now is giving us a glimpse of big astrological events that have to do with Saturn and Pluto in January of 2020. So if you listen to a lot of astrologers, they talk about the astrology of 2020, and like we're kind of getting a glimpse of it this month. And so if you think that this is how it's going to be, this is the new level, August isn't going to be like this. but I'm just saying that we're getting a taste of how 2020 is going to be like. So what does that mean? That means we better get our shit together, you guys. We better like get our meditation on. We better know how to deal with things. We better know how to mentally process through things, right? To understand, oh, this is not my thought. This is a collective thought. I don't need to take that on, you know, how to integrate the energies, how to take care of ourselves, how to listen to our intuition. We have to know how to do all those things, like, you know, ground in our light, we activate our energy field, we work with our aura, we open from the heart every day. We have to start doing these things, like we put on pants in the morning, or, you know, you put on whatever you wear in the morning. So it's kind of like this has to really become part of the daily dialogue. It's like, oh, hey, you know, today I was hanging with my angels and this is what happens, and, you know, this is what my guides told me. And it really needs to become like a more integrated world, instead of like, oh my gosh, at work this happened. Inconsequential, okay? It's gonna be more like, oh my gosh, my angels warned me about this. That's the kind of stuff that we want to look at. That's the kind of stuff that's going to become relevant, because you have to learn how to trust your own intuition. The more and more, every so often I check on different videos on, because you guys know I'm all about like this. And right now I'm looking at what's happening with like the Area 51 thing. I kind of have glimpses, but I kind of check different things and different alternative websites in terms of what's happening, which, by the way, right now, again, Schumann resonance has been like spiking, right? So I look for these things, and I look for like sightings, because a lot of you send me pretty cool, you know, pictures of things, or share with me experiences of what happens in your life. And it's like, I like seeing how it's starting to manifest in the outer world, like this disclosure phenomenon. But there's a lot of misinformation, right? You know how YouTube like pops up like, hey, this video is suggested for you, or whatever not. And so there is a lot of misinformation. And the thing that's happening is that ultimately you have to know what resonates with you. And that's going to be your gauge. So if you don't have your own opinion and your own connection line, like your own truth, and if you don't know where you stand, it's going to be like, oh my gosh, well, this person said it like this person said it like that, you know, this person said it like that. And so where do you find, like, where does it make sense for you? So we really have to learn how to find our own center and understand our own filter, right, of information. And kind of like there's that joke that kids say, it's like, oh, everything you find on the internet is true, right? And it's like, cancel, clearly. But everybody goes through things with their own filter. And so that's the important part, is that, you know, we each have our perception, our individual perception, and that's how, you know, we speak through the things that come through. And so always remember that. So I knew this was a parentheses, and now I can't remember what we were talking about, you guys. So, oh yeah, don't believe everything that happens on the internet. No. So, but there's a lot. You can feel it, right, in the news, and there's the blackout in New York on 7/13. I feel like that's like a sign for the universe. The universe is talking to us. The 13th was a reset of a 13-year karmic cycle. And we started a new 13-year karmic cycle, which means lots of cleansing. And thankfully, the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse are helping us with that. Thankfully, in quotations, meaning just, you know, we're doing the work, and we're made to do the work, and we're being supported in doing the work. And it's beautiful energy of up-leveling. Really, that's what it is. It just kind of shows up in a way of like, okay, why is this happening for me, instead of like, oh my gosh, you know? And so, but it is intense, and I feel it inside my cells. And I always know, once you start to kind of pay attention to how you feel in relationships to the planets, then you'll start to feel the planets, and you're like, oh, this is how Mercury feels inside my skin. This is how the Venus energy feels, you know, inside. And so you'll start to feel, this is how Pluto feels. Pluto is like death and rebirth, right? The planet of transformation. We're all feeling a lot of Pluto right now, because there's a lot of Pluto energy. So you kind of just, you know, start to understand and to speak the language of the universe through, you know, the way that we feel, and tap into the multisensory perception, and, you know, your energy tentacles kind of like expand outwards. So, yeah. What more do I want to tell you? So with the I'm like, angels, calling on the angels. Actually, I can't really see the screen. Hang on. What's your advice for the last half of this month as far as work business? That's a great question. That leads me into something that I wanted to talk to you about, except my screen is really dark, so now I can't really see, but I'll tell you, a lot of people are going to come up on what it is that they need to be doing in the world. This is the part that's coming up next. And this is the reason why I have been telling you guys about the course that I just launched, which is called Goddess on Mission. I shouldn't say launched, it's open for registration. Goddess on Mission, which is a course for spiritual entrepreneurs, meaning those of you that are ready to leave the job that you do in the 3D world to step into the 5D world and do the thing that you came on the planet to do and make money with it, basically. And that's the thing that's going to happen, is a lot of people are going to feel like they are just done doing a job that is not allowing their soul to blossom and to grow. It's like we are done. If you're a light worker, if you're a starseed, if you are any incarnation on this planet of higher energy, which a lot of people are, you are going to start questioning these things. You're going to be like, what am I meant to do on this planet? How do I add value to this world? How do I find the alignment with what I know that is important to me, like in my soul? What is my purpose? What is my mission? What did I come here to do? Let's get real with it, because I know it wasn't my 9 to 5. I know it wasn't what I'm doing at work. I know it's not all of these things. So, and I see you guys, yay, hashtag Goddess on Mission. That's right. I'm so excited for all you beautiful goddesses that have registered for it. And that's exactly why this course had to be birthed. You guys, the truth behind this course is that I had a planned vacation in France on a yacht. It was going to be amazing. And the angels were like, you're not going. This is when you are launching the course. This is when you're announcing it. This is what's happening. And I was like, this is my reminder to not go too far over time so that Instagram doesn't cut us. So it truly is, when you're committed to being in alignment and to doing the work of your soul, interesting things start to happen. But then other opportunities come back around. And so sometimes, we always get tested. It's like, okay, what's more important to you? And I will always choose the light work, because I know how that feels to not be in alignment. And so I was like, okay, staying here. And they told me exactly, it's like, you're going to announce it on this day. This is the day that you're going to start. And at the time, I hadn't even looked at the astrology in its entirety in terms of July. Turns out the day that my team, I work with my stars, star beings and angels and guides team, much like a board, right, for my business and for the work that I do. And they said, you have to launch it on the 27th. And I was like, well, that's kind of inconvenient because this is not a good day for me. We'll clear your schedule. Okay. And so I just kind of, I double check and I do things. Well, it turns out, as I was digging more so into Mayan astrology, because I've been really looking into different kinds of astrologies that you guys know, it turns out that the 26th is the Galactic year reset. And I was like, oh, I see how that's important that we start on the 27th, because it's the day after the new galactic year. So it's like we are starting with this huge galactic energy reset behind us, and we are jumping on mission. And so these are the amazing things that happen when you start to be in alignment, is that you have to do things and you're not quite sure why. And so, just like I ran the bonus until the 13th, and I had all these days did not come from me looking at a calendar and saying, oh, this is a good idea. They came from my teams telling me this. And then once I put them on a calendar and I compare it to what's happening astrologically, I'm like, holy cow, you guys are so smart. The 13th is like this 13-year reset. This is like a great way to end a karmic cycle, giving bonuses, right? And so it's just kind of, it's amazing how this works. And we've had so many confirmations of the numbers for this course. And the reason why this is the love life, bummer, I missed the bonus. The truth is, I think I'm going to add a new bonus because I am such a bonus person and it's just so much fun to give bonuses. So I think that what we're going to do is I am going to do a bonus for, I don't know, I'm gonna do something. I have to like convene here, but I'll put in my stories tonight. Because it's just fun. And the truth is, the course itself is amazing. And because we're doing it together for the first time, it will be recorded live. So all of the modules, we're going to do them live. So you guys will get to ask me questions. And what happens is the first time that we do a course, what I've learned is that all of you that need to be in the course to represent everyone that will come in the next launchings of the course, because it will run again, right? But it will be recorded at that point. You will represent the audience of everyone that will come after. And so I know that all of the amazing questions will come through you, and it's just beautiful what happens, because that's always how it works. And so you'll have, we'll do the Q&As and we'll do all of those things live, and then you'll have PDFs and you'll have structure. And we're going to build your brand. We're going to build your business together, and we are going to work through all of the things of how to present it, of what it is and how to do it, and the Instagram and the Facebook and like all of those things, and the website and the logos, and how to really come from your soul, from alignment, not the hustle, but to do the alignment thing, which is totally different. It's a very different energy when you do what you're doing, when you do the thing that you are meant to be doing, when you're in alignment, when it's inspired and it's the path of your soul. And so when you can make money doing sharing your gifts with the world, it's amazing. The level of support that you receive from heaven and earth, because you're in alignment. It's like, whoa. It's like these things that, are happening with me that, I missed out on one thing and I have the faith and I'm like, I know. And then another beautiful opportunity happened after I had the faith to say, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what, this is my soul's mission. This is what is needed. And this is, I'm choosing, and this is what I'm doing. And then, there's other opportunities that opened up later this summer, because that's always how life works. So you'll always be rewarded for doing the thing that you know how to do. So that you have to do. And it's a beautiful way to live in alignment. So the reason why the course had to be birthed right now, which by the way, you can find it on my website, which is right there. It's moonbabetribe.com. And in case you register right now and you don't know what the bonus is because there's no bonus on there, don't worry, I will figure something out because I always take care of all of the people. You guys that have worked with me know this. So the reason why I started talking about this is because reasons of identity and how to handle work, right? The question was, how do we handle work for the last part of the month? It's going to be wobbly. And you have to listen to the nudgings of your soul. That's the important thing. And some of you may have things that you're still learning in your corporate work, in your corporate job, or in, whatever it is that you're doing. It's kind of like this transitionary phase. Maybe you'll go to part-time. Maybe you'll start doing something else on the side. And some of you maybe already have launched into, oh my gosh, the universe took my job, right? Like, I don't have that anymore. It's like, I'm done. I am clearly, like, I know that I need to do the thing that I'm meant to do. And I kind of have this little practice on the side, and I'm kind of doing this, and I've been, dabbling in this thing. Or maybe it's going, and it's kind of going, but you want more. You want to take it to that next level. Your soul wants more, right? It's like, that that's the thing that you're meant to be doing, but how do you actually take it to where you make a huge impact on the planet, or, whatever that means to you, because that's a relative statement for a lot of people. So for different people, it just depends on how we want to use our gifts and what is in alignment with our soul. So don't get scared by that statement. But we all know on the inside, and that's the thing that we're going to figure out. And it's going to come up. So a lot of questions are going to come up, and this course is really meant to be that let me catch you in a safe space where you can create what you want to create and really birth what you're meant to birth on the planet. So instead of falling in a state of like crisis mode and, oh my gosh, what do I do now? And where am I going? I feel the itch. I feel the urge inside. I know something has to change, but I don't know how to do it. And then you start spinning around in circles. Instead of that, let me take you through that process, right? It's a 10-week course. So we're going to be together. We're going to be like really good friends and we're going to be going through it together. And it really is the path that I wish I would have had a couple of years ago when I did the transition myself. So you're going to get to know, all the things that I did, and you get the benefits of learning from all the things that I've learned and all the benefits of all of the years of me studying in corporate America and my business degree and all of those beautiful things. I think in the course description, I say you can go and look at my profile on LinkedIn, right, to see the corporate America thing. But, and that does have bearing on these things, because you need to know when you're starting your own business, you do need to know how to do the business side and you need to know how to do the healing side. And those two things come together, and we need to be able to do both when we're doing this kind of work at the beginning. So, and then of course, we're going to do this the inspired way. So there's meditations, there's Kundalini, there's working with your higher self, there's working with your guides and angels. So we're doing this on that level because that's the way to do it, you guys. So yay, I am excited. I'm going to see if there's any other questions. Oh, yay. Yay, yay, yay. Looking forward to that in the fall. Yes, Christina, message me. Let me know if you guys have questions. Absolutely. And check it out. It's on www.moonbabetribe.com. Again, I'll add something tonight, and then in terms of a bonus, and then I'll put it on my stories. And you haven't received an email yet. If you registered for a course, so just know that everything is kind of coming together in terms of the meditations on the back end, but you will receive an email with all of the info, and you're gonna love this course. I am pulling like some extra stops right now. I recorded a meditation just today, and you guys will know it, all of you that registered for the course, because I'm wearing the same outfit in the meditation. And I talked about it on my stories. But I have just found these like amazing little things that just really make a difference in programming our mind and staying in that creative mind and staying in the zone of genius, right? When you are, and which is so important when you start to be on the healing path, because it's you and you. It's you and you and your team. And then of course you're going to have my support. But it's really important that you learn how to work with yourself and to find that place of passion and drive and commitment and knowingness inside. And so you guys are getting all that love. I'm really excited about it. All right. So remember, tomorrow night is the lunar eclipse. Put your crystals out tonight or tomorrow. Get some water out, okay? Because it generally lasts. So I'm going to put my crystals out tonight and tomorrow, because they're going to get the pre-love and the after-love. That's how much I love my crystals. And put so they get cleared and they get charged. They get reset, right? They get to reset with us. Get some water out, put it outside and in the moonlight, and make moon water. This water is going to be amazing for cleaning your house. It's very clearing. So I would put it in like a bottle spray and just like clear your house. So it's moon infused water. Can you talk a little more about the karmic reset in terms of what it means moving forward? Yes. So that is that's a great question. So I have been fascinated by the Mayan astrology just because they knew so much, right? Looking at the planetary functions and everything else. So the reset happens based on the fact that in Mayan astrology, we go through what they call 13 tones, much like in our astrology / the calendar, the Gregorian calendar. We go through 7 days of the week, 30 days of the month, right? So their calendar year is 260 days, and then they have 13 galactic tones. And we just went from, which no coincidence, 13 is how many chakras we have fully outside of the body, and 13 is the number of the divine feminine energy of creation. So it's amazing to me that they were so inspired and so enlightened, and they knew all these things back then. Okay, I digress. So we have just gone through 13 tones. And I think that they're called tones because they really give a tone to the essence of, the year ahead and the time ahead. And so right now we're starting again at 1. And interestingly enough, tone 1 is, it's called a magnetic tone, and it's a tone of purpose. And it's about finding our identity through the oneness. So it's connecting to the oneness, but finding our identity in the oneness. So not get lost in the collective consciousness or unconsciousness, but finding our identity and being part of that oneness. So that's what this reset is about. And we start this new phase. And so really think of it as like a fresh start, as the next cycle of the next 13 years. It's an opportunity to just be like, okay, I am complete. The last 13 years of my life, I can see, because it's almost a decade. So think about the theme, right? The reoccurring themes of the decade, and what happened, and what are you ready to leave behind, and what are you ready to move forward with. And so with that, it's really about coming from this place of unity, this place of understanding who you are, moving forward, and creating positive karma. So we don't really get that thing where it's like, well, I know better, but I'm just going to choose this for right now. This is not the time to do that. This is not the time. The universe is done giving us those free passes, right? Or where you kind of know that you're doing something that is really not right, but you really are throwing a little fit inside, and a part of you wants to do the thing, and then you're like, this is probably not a good idea, but what the hell, I'm gonna do it anyways. Not so good, right? So just kind of pay attention, be in charge of your own self, be in charge of the actions that you take, be in charge of your thoughts, and go for that long term. Think about, look back on the last 13 years and think forward on the next 13 years. And what do you want it to look like? I mean, 13 years is a long time to think about, at the end of this karmic cycle, where do you want to be? But what kind of karma do you want to create for yourself? So really, this whole entire month, with all of these resets that we have, is a great time to just continuously writing intention, up-leveling intentions every day, right? What I want to create, and what I intend to create, and just focusing on the positive of all the things that are coming up, looking on what we're clearing. I'm letting this go. I'm creating this. And we are coming to a place where all of we're going to realize this year coming up with this new reset is the fact that we really are all connected, as much as we want to pretend that we're not, because we sometimes, I feel like collectively, a lot of people, it's really easy to say that we are, but then what does that really mean? How do we all affect each other? Right? And it really goes deeper than just the little things that we do, whether or not, you recycle. And it's nobody sees if you recycled or not. Mother Earth knows, your higher self knows, right? It's those little things. Nobody knows, it's the things that nobody knows, but that you do anyways. Nobody knows if you give money to a homeless person on the street. Maybe nobody sees you. Are you going to do it anyways? What is in alignment for you? And so it's this, living together as a whole while still maintaining your identity. And I know that gets really deep, but that's kind of what it looks like in everyday life. It's how do we add value to society instead of, saying, instead of seeing, this is happening to me. It's how do I create a world? How do I create this? How do I manifest my reality this way? And how can I add more? And, it's going to be using your gifts. So that's the next cycle ahead, you guys, which is really exciting. Super exciting. Okay. Galactic year coming, new karma. I know. It's a lot, right? Annie, she's fresh start, full moon, new galactic year, new karma. It's all of the new things. And literally, if you look at how it's showing up, in my life, this month, new car, new phone, new iPad. I was how is this, all of this new stuff happening? And it wasn't even my decisions. It was okay, this kind of needs to happen. I still had an iPhone 6. How to get the new iPhone? Because why? I had no more video storage. True story of somebody that works, with videos. So it's just, it's time. It's time for new things. Clearing out your closet and bringing in new things. And, it's just a new cycle, and we're feeling it in all of these things. The earth is definitely into a new cycle. That's why there's all of this rising of all of these things and of the weather. And so it's a new cycle. So let's create it how we want it to be. And most of all, this brings me to when you guys see the news, and it's like there's some people that sometimes it's like it's good news, but it's like, oh my gosh, the end of the world is coming. Okay, like whenever that comes to you and whenever people are like freaking out, first of all, we never know how much of it is accurate and how much of it is not accurate, because this is how the news work. So as long as you're working with news outlets, you have to use your own judgments. That's number one. That doesn't mean that things aren't happening. However, we are in charge of creating a new world, a world where we hold the vibration for what we want, not what is happening, not what it looks like right now, but what we want, okay? And so every time you see one of these things or these videos pop up, and it's like, there was one that was being sent around the other day on YouTube that was like, it was a news paper. This is not a drill. New York, blackout in New York City. And it was just like made with like all these headlines, and they make them even bigger. And I understand that YouTube channels make money, obviously, on, attracting like people seeing that. However, it's not helping anybody to be like, oh my gosh, and to have that feeling of fear. When you have that feeling of fear, even if it's momentary, you are feeding off entities that feed off of fear. Not to freak you out, but that's really kind of how it works. That's why we always want to stay in love, right? So whenever you feel yourself like, oh shit, like, oh crap, and you get that like feeling, shift to love, right? Up level, go up, pull it up. Imagine literally taking that feeling from your stomach, because that fear comes in your stomach, bring it up to your heart, transmute it into love. Hold a vision for an earth where that doesn't happen. Hold a vision for an earth where everything is beautiful, everything is green, everybody gets along. And that's really our job, wrap in light, send angels, send love, because it's our job to create a new earth. And we're not going to create a new earth if we keep feeding the fears of the old. It's not going to work. And so it's a hard, sometimes it's a little hard, but it's like, ooh, you have to do the mental workout, and you have to raise that up. You have to do that like vibrational shift. So it's like, no, I want that headline, in my mind, I picture that headline being different. And it's like, New York City responds incredibly well when, threatened with blackout, and everybody is well and happy, and our world recovers successfully. Like, I change it in my head into a positive headline. So like, start doing that work, right? Shift it to where it's like, oh my gosh, we had this amazing event happening in New York City. Oh my gosh, there's flowers blooming that, are beautiful and we've never had before. So whatever you want to change it to, that's the world that we want to create. So, all right, you guys, peace, love, joy. Yes. Don't get lost in the sensationals. All right. Doing spiritual push-ups. Yes, Christina, I love that. Mental spiritual push-ups. That's exactly right. I'm going to leave you guys with that. I love you all. I hope that you check out the course. And it's on my website, www.moonbabetribe.com. Click on Goddess on Mission. So scroll down on the page, click on Goddess on Mission, and go read about if this is for you. See if it fits you. It will call your soul. If it's meant for you, it will fit your soul. If it's not meant for you, you're going to be like, maybe not now, right? But if it's meant for you, you're going to be like, all right, shit. Right? And you feel the feeling and you're like, crap, my time is up. My time is, is here. And just kind of read through and see if you feel like, there's something in it for you that's coming up. And registration is open until the 27th, which is the day that we start. Okay, so go feel it out. And tomorrow night, if you're part of Moonbabe Society, we're doing our full moon lunar eclipse meditation. And man, we're going to get our Kundalini on, because we are clearing all this stuff that's coming up, you guys. So if you are part of Moonbabe Society, catch the live if you can. Definitely do it before, in the next couple of days is going to be good. But catch the live if you can, because it's always the most powerful time to do it. We're going to get our workout on. So be ready to sweat spiritually, physically, mentally. We're going to shift this thing, and we're going to feel amazing. Yes, ready. I see you guys. Yes. All right. So I will see you guys that are part of Moon Babe Society tomorrow night. I will see the rest of you on stories here, and message me if you have any questions. I love you all. Mwah. Have a beautiful night.